On June 12, 1980, the Los Angeles Police Department receives a disturbing call. While picking up trash along a freeway ramp, a highway worker finds the bodies of two young girls.
They were both semi-nude, hidden under some brush, but you could see them from the roadway.
They both appear to have been shot in the head.
There wasn't a lot of blood at the crime scene, which indicated they were obviously killed somewhere else and then brought here and dumped.
Police scour the area, but find no evidence that identifies the victims or their killer.
The two victims, they were young, they were minors, so a check was made on possible runaways, missings, and through that process, it was found that they were both run away from the city of Huntington Beach.
They are identified as stepsisters, 16-year-old Cindy Chandler and 15-year-old Gina Morano. Police are surprised by the violence of the crime.
There's a lot of questions because of their age, the method of how they were killed, and the isolation area where they were dumped.
Gina was shot twice in the head. The coroner recovers two .25 caliber bullets from Cindy Chandler's skull and chest and reveals she has been sexually assaulted. Investigators question friends and family of the girls and learn they frequently ran away from home. With no other leads, police focus on the bullets and try to identify the gun.
We asked through the state all registered owners of the .25 caliber weapon we're looking for, and there was a horrendous list.
Two days later, on June 14th, LAPD gets another strange call. A woman claims that her boyfriend is bragging about killing the stepsisters and wants to confirm the details he told her.
But there was no exchange of information, so she, out of frustration, just hung up.
Carol Bundy seemed to be doomed from the start. Born in 1943, she was raised in Los Angeles.
She had a terrible childhood, and both parents were abusive alcoholics. Carol was regularly punished very, very badly, very severely beaten, and rejected by her mother.
When Carol was 14 years old, her mother died from a heart attack.
That same night, Carol's father took her into his bed and said that she had to take over now for her mother.
Her father crossed boundaries and sort of set her world into a whole different perspective.
After her father remarried a year later, Carol went to a series of foster homes, and her eyesight started to fail.
She became very, very promiscuous in high school as a way to get attention and to make herself feel loved by men, and basically that became her sense of identity. Carol Bundy seemed to be attracted to men who she thought would be sort of heroic for her, who would take her out of her life and rescue her and then provide a very strong model for her. She just enjoyed the feeling that these men could take charge.
In 1970, Carol, already divorced, married her second husband in Southern California. She worked as a nurse until her vision deteriorated and had to resign. After 9 years, Carol's husband became physically abusive. She left and moved into a shelter for battered women.
Carol put a gloss on it, the way she put a gloss on absolutely everything. She managed to idealize the most unpleasant situations. She would make excuses for everybody and could never really see reality. The vision problems almost became symbolic of her emotional blindness.
In January 1979, Carol Bundy moved into a Los Angeles apartment complex. She soon fell for the building's married manager, Jack Murray.
Jack was charismatic. He was a singer at the Little Nashville Country and Western Club, and he had scores of women who admired him greatly, and not necessarily from afar. He was married. He had 2 beautiful little children. And Carol was determined to get him away from his wife.
It wasn't long before Carol and Jack became lovers.
Jack took her to a doctor so that she could get her vision checked. She found out that she was not as blind as she thought she was, that her vision could be somewhat corrected, and that with glasses, the proper eyeglasses, she would be able to return to work.